Okay, so welcome back to my hair journey. So for all the new people, I went to Asli Tarcan in Turkey, Istanbul, where I had a FUE procedure where I had 5,000 to 6,000 grafts done. Uh, it was 5,000 from the back of my head and probably just under 1,000 from under my chin. Altogether, the procedure cost $3,000. At that time in December 2021, it cost me £2,400, which was good. I have heard the prices have gone up a bit since then, but if you followed my previous videos, I was telling you to try and get a price as soon as you can before it did go up. So hopefully a few people followed that. I'm currently now just over 3.5 months. So today's video was basically to go over the things that I have taken and used since that procedure. So before I go into that, just give you an update on how my hair is at the moment. I had my haircut done 2 days ago, ball fade with a one on top. That's what it's looking like now. Left side is my stronger side. Got the back, still getting a few bumps. I've got quite a couple big ones that hopefully will go down in the next couple of days. My right side is the weaker side. So as I said, I had my hair cut about 2 days ago, so I'm not sure if you can still see the outline that usually starts appearing after a few days. Keep talking about my temples. I had my temples done over before I got my hair cut, I did see a few hairs coming through on the temples, which I haven't seen since the procedure, since I started shedding, but I am seeing the little hairs coming through on the temples. So I am noticing more hairs coming through, because before, when I used to rub my head, I used to be able to feel the bald spots, but I can't feel them much anymore. So at 3.5 months, I can tell that the hairs are coming through. Right, so let's get into what I've used so far. So starting from the beginning, I used the pillow, the neck pillow. So before the flight, I purchased a head pillow and took that with me on the flight. I think most flights that I've been on, I've always had a neck pillow as well. So it's a bit of a habit to take that with me anyway. So, but I'm glad I did take that with me, because for the first week, from the day of the procedure through the whole of the first week, I did use that neck pillow to help sleep with, basically. So when I was going to sleep, I'll put the neck pillow on, and so it was holding my head up, so I wasn't touching the pillow or the bed or anything like that. So if you are looking for some kind of support during the night, I would recommend a head pillow. It works for me, may not work for you, but it's something to consider when you're doing that. So that neck pillow was a savior for me. The next thing was the satin pillowcase. So after the week, the first week, you are allowed to rest your head on the pillow. So buying that satin pillowcases I was using, it was helping with the roughness of when I'm asleep, all the turning the head and whatever craziness I get up to during the night. So that was helping with the protection of the donor area and recipient area, really. So just to make it nice and smooth and no rough catching during the night. So satin pillowcases or silk pillowcases, whichever you prefer, I can get, are recommended. It is a good idea, and I'm glad I got that also. Next, we went on to the foam and the shampoo that the clinic give you. They will give you instructions on how to use the foam and the shampoo. I think it was 20 minutes with the foam, just let it settle. And then it was wash it off and then add the shampoo, leave that in during the time you're in the shower, and then at the end just shower it off. So that was the way I was using the foam and the shampoo. I was using that combination every day for the first 2 weeks. After the 2 weeks, when the shedding started and all the scabs fell off, I reverted to using it every other day, because I did notice that it was making my head recipient area a lot drier than I ever seen it before. So I did start using it every other day, which I thought helped with that actual dryness on my scalp. After, when I had finished the foam and the shampoo that the clinic provided, I then went on to the Johnson's Baby shampoo, which a lot of people do recommend. So I did use the Johnson's Baby shampoo in the same way that I was using the foam and the shampoo. So I was washing my hair, or I still am washing my hair every other day. So every 2 days I am using the Johnson's Baby shampoo. Next is the medication, the tablets that they give you at the clinic. Now this bit is, I've had some questions about this part. It was more about the creams that they give you at the clinic as well. Now, so because of my hair, I wasn't given or prescribed any creams because I wasn't having much of a reaction to the actual procedure itself. So at the clinic, they are all very good there. They do have a lot of people that do go around, make sure that you've taken all your medication, and they do seem to have a very good understanding of how people are reacting to the actual procedure. So because they've done so many procedures, because they have an understanding of the reactions that they can see, every time somebody went past me at the clinic, they will take a look, make sure everything is looking okay. So I think they can spot if something's going wrong very quickly, it looks like to me. So with that, everybody's different. So in the group of us, there was probably 7, 8 of us in the group. It was only myself who didn't have what the others were given. Now, I did feel left out. I felt as if like I was getting shortchanged or I was missing out on something, but because I wasn't having as much of a reaction as the other guys, or a normal reaction, I wasn't given the extra medication or the creams that the others were prescribed. Even after the procedure on the day itself, a lot of the guys, actually all of them, had this red sort of dye antiseptic cream that they had on their head. That was to help with any infections or help with the reaction. I wasn't given that, so as I said, I did feel that I was being left out, or they weren't looking after me properly. But each person is different. They know what they're doing. You just have to trust them. So with all the questions that I've been getting about the creams, I'm unable to answer that because I didn't get any of the creams. They didn't prescribe me any because they felt as if I didn't need it. I was reacting very good to it. Even when I was there, I could tell I was healing a lot better than the other guys there. So unfortunately, I'm unable to answer about the directions or how to apply any of the creams, the extra creams that they give you after the procedure. But what I did get was the tablets. So starting with the tablets, I was given 4 different types of tablets. I think one, the Coraspin, was a blood thinner. Prednol was for anti-swelling. The Dexofen, that was a painkiller. And the Trentolin was I think that was an antibiotic. There were a couple more tablets that other people were prescribed that I didn't get. But as I said, so that was all dependent on your reactions and your history, your medical history as well at the same time. Even during the procedure, they were aware that I get high blood pressure. So I'm currently on tablets at the moment to control my blood pressure. So they were aware of that. Every 2 hours during the procedure, they did come in to take my blood pressure to make sure everything was okay, that it wasn't spiking up too high or anything like that. So they did look after me. I felt looked after, I felt safe, and I was very, very happy to let them do the readings during the procedure, which was beneficial for myself really as well at the same time. So as I said, if they're asking for your medical history, I wouldn't be hiding anything that may cause harm or effect to you during the procedures. Just let them know the details and they can treat you accordingly. Next thing I've got on there was the saline. So I basically took an empty cleaning product from the house. I cleaned it out, washed it out, and then put in some saline into it. So I was using the saline for probably, let's say 2 weeks on and off during the first 2 weeks after the procedure when I got home. So I was using the saline just to spray over the recipient area, just so that it wasn't left dry. So I didn't use much of it. So I think it was every few hours I was just giving it a quick squirt on the recipient area. I actually did it all over my head as well. So I did it all over, a few squirts here and there over my head for the first couple of weeks. After that, I didn't use it much. So things I did use, I think it was just to control the itching basically, because I didn't really use much on my recipient area. So the coconut oil, the tea tree and manuka cream, and no bump, that was all for the donor area. That was to deal with all the itching and the bumps and the ingrown hairs. The coconut oil and so the coconut oil, I used that to begin with, so I got that first, the coconut oil. I did a few squirts. I think that was during the itching stage, or when my donor areas was very sensitive at the time. I mean, even the lightest touch, it was a bit like, let's say you dip your hand into like some water or a puddle, and you know how it ripples, just gets bigger. It was like that. So every time I would touch my donor area, it would like cause a sensation all around my donor area. It was very strange at the time, but yeah, so to help with that, I got the coconut oil. Did it help? I'll probably say it helped for a little while. Yeah, so I tried the tea tree and manuka cream as well, because I heard a few people talking about that as well. So I tried that, and then I also got the no bump solution for the bumps. So if the no bumps and the tea tree and manuka cream, I actually combined them together. So I just mixed them into one pot, stirred it, and then just applied that onto my donor area. So that was just for my donor area. The coconut oil, I think you probably used that about 3-4 times. That's still the same bottle from when I've used it. So yeah, I didn't really use much of that, but the tea tree cream and the no bump solution, I mixed them together, and I did use that quite a lot on my donor area. I was using that mainly to prevent the bumps as well at the same time, because when I first started, I wasn't getting the bumps, so it was sort of to try and prevent the bumps at the same time. I'm still using that no bump now. So if you watch my other videos, I have complained about the ingrown hairs and the bumps, so I'm still using that now. The no bump, I'm not really using the tea tree and manuka cream. That was the only bottle that I've used of that as well. So the only thing I'm using is the no bump solution for my bumps and the ingrown hairs, which seem to be effective at the moment. So I'm using that when I really need to. At the moment, I'm using it every day just so that the bumps don't really come back. So I'm going to try using that. I have heard that around the month 4 mark that the bumps do tend to slow down and stop, but hopefully that happens with myself. Biotin. Yeah, so I've been using the biotin from near enough the beginning of the procedure. So I had 2 bottles of the biotin, 60 tablets in all, so it should take me up to 4 months. I'm not intending to keep on taking the biotin after this second bottle has finished. Whether it has worked or not, I don't know. It's probably doing what it needs to do. But with all the products that I'm using, I don't intend to use them for very long. I've got this procedure done, so I wouldn't be having to take all these tablets and solutions and things for your hair. So that was the whole point of getting the procedure done. So it minimizes for me having to use so many other different things. So after this bottle was done, that will be it of the biotin. So I was using a 10,000 mcg, which is what they recommend to help the skin and your hair. And that's it with the biotin. Next, the minoxidil. So I started using the minoxidil from week 2 to 3 when the shedding started. So once the shedding started, that's when I started using the minoxidil. I'm just using minoxidil to help with the growth for that period. I will probably use the minoxidil for 6 months, and then after that I'll stop. So that's another thing that I don't want to be carrying on for forever, basically. So that is just to help with the progress and the growth of the hair during the shedding stage in the first 6 months. So I'm using that every night. So every night before I go to bed, I apply it an hour or 2 before I go to bed. The last thing is the razor. Yeah, so I've been getting my hair cut at the barbers. Prior to the barbers and COVID, I was actually cutting my own hair. I wasn't doing a fade or nothing. I was just doing a straight one level, probably 0.5, putting the blade all the way in. So since week 7, I've been going to the barbers, and only recently has the barber actually started using the clippers on my recipient area. So before, he was using the scissors to try and cut it down to make it look all even at the time when it was just growing wild. But from last week, I think it was at the 3.5 month mark, that's when I've been giving him the chance to actually use the clippers on my recipient area. And that's the clippers. So that's a list of everything that I've used or taken since the procedure. I have not used any hair fibers or any sprays on my recipient area. I've not even used any brushes or combs also on my recipient area. I've been trying to keep my recipient area as natural as possible. Right, so I've not used any creams, any hair fibers or any sprays on my recipient area. I've not even used any brushes neither. Okay, so that was a roundup of what I have used and taken since the procedure. Let me know in the comments below any questions you might have if I've not covered, and I shall see you on the next one.